Guys, we have leads. It is only 2 leads, but it is already plural, so I think that's worth celebrating. So welcome to another episode of my outreach challenge. For those of you who haven't watched my previous 2 videos on the topic, I'm challenging myself to get to $7,000 a month until the end of this year. And every 2 weeks, I have a set of goals I am supposed to complete in order to get closer to my goals. I will put the links to the previous episodes in the description box below. And now let's discuss the results, because we already have some tangible wins. So last week, I promised to send out 30 outreach messages and introduce myself in 3 networking communities. As for the wins and failures, this week has been both better and worse in terms of the result. For example, I did get 2 leads, but most of the messages I sent resulted in no response whatsoever, which is not so great, and it usually means that something in either my prospecting, so my research strategy, or my message template should change. Now about the leads, one of them was organic, so I think that I literally manifested it through my actions and perseverance. And by the way, I know that the topic of manifestation might not resonate with everyone. That is fine. I do believe in it, but I don't believe in it in its traditional sense. I don't believe that you can manifest things into existence by thinking differently. In my opinion, that doesn't work, and honestly we spend way too much time in our heads anyway. What does work, however, and what I've noticed from my own experience, is manifesting through embodiment or manifesting through action. Now you might ask me, how is that different from simply putting in effort? And the difference is you start acting like the person who already lives that dream life. So for example, in my case, I want to grow my business, and in order to do so, I need to reach out to people and pitch them my services, right? Now what I don't do is I don't get hung up on the outcomes. I set myself goals for specific action steps. Send out 30 outreach messages, introduce myself in 3 networking communities, publish 1 lead magnet. I don't cling to an outcome. Maybe I'll get a lead from these 30, 60, however many outreach messages. Maybe I won't. Maybe once I'll start putting myself out there, I will start attracting more opportunities and people will ask for my services naturally, which actually happened. I got an organic lead after I started putting myself out there. So yes, taking action already gets you closer to your goals, but it also puts you in this different mindset, on different frequency, however you want to phrase it, and you simply become more open to different opportunities and they start coming your way. So I got 1 organic lead, and the other lead actually came from my outreach initiatives, and there I believe I did a really good job at narrowing down the ICP. So this company, they're literally my ideal client. Their size just fits. They're a small but growing company. Also, they recently secured a new round of funding, so they have budget to do more marketing, and they haven't done much content before. So they have published some customer studies, some PR updates, but they haven't had a structured, not to mention an SEO approach to their content. I also wanted to talk more about my message template because I think it's good for transparency, and I also want to make other freelancers feel less intimidated by outreach, because I used to be that person who felt incredibly intimidated by outreach and thought that you had to do some, CIA level psychology in order to get leads and then clients, but it's nothing like that. I literally send out basic pitches, or not necessarily basic pitches because my messages are quite long, but I do not pretend to do some relationship building or asking people how they're doing and what they're doing, and I'm trying to sell a service. So my message looks like this: hi name, I hope you're doing well, and then I'll either say I'll be upfront, I noticed that, then potential content gap that they might have, or if I'm getting in contact with a hiring manager, I'm trying to pitch myself as an alternative to a full-time hire, then hey, I noticed that you're hiring for this role. and then I'll pitch my services. I do this and that. I can provide XYZ results, and then I'll finish up with a non-commitment statement like, no worries, there's no pressure, you can always say no, and then it's best regard and a sign off. So the key here is, yes, I'm pitching, I'm not pretending that I'm not. I think that's just dishonest and is probably hurting your brand in the long run, but I also always make sure that there is demand for my services. So that's about my message template. I know that some sales gurus might say that I'm doing it wrong and you're supposed to build relationships with your prospects. Personally, I think that's BS. There are definitely some people who can persuade you that their service and their product fits your intentions, if you know what I mean. I'm kind of like referring to this book. I do not remember the name of that book, but it's about the persuasion techniques. And yes, there are people who can do that, who are like naturally gifted at that. I'm not these people. And I also feel like these tactics, they are overused and they do not appear natural if you are not naturally good at it. I don't see the point in pretending that I am not pitching my services. I mean, I am a business owner, and as a business owner, I need to sell my services, and pitching is one part of it, so why hide it? So this is why I choose to be transparent and on point and all about addressing an actual problem. Now let's talk about networking. It is true that you get your best leads and best clients from your network, but when you are meeting new people, you shouldn't be approaching them with the mindset of what can I get from them. Personally, I try to approach networking events and networking communities with the mindset of getting inspired. So I really try to meet people from whom I can quote-unquote learn, even though I already introduced myself in these networking communities, and I'm 100% sure that there will be a return on investment. It's too early to make predictions, nor am I clinging to any particular outcome. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I got another job offer. It's so funny, when you're completely detached from the outcome, things suddenly start happening your way. 4 years ago, when I was looking for a job, it was so hard to get even an interview, and now every 2 weeks I get a new job offer. Now, about my goals for the next 2 weeks. For the next 2 weeks, I want to make more time for research and message optimization. And I want to send out 15 net new outreach messages. Why 15? So far, my outreach strategy has been a bit of a conveyor belt type of situation, and of course it's natural for sales. Sales is a numbers game. The more messages you send, the higher the chances of you getting a new paying client. But I think it's all about finding the right balance between efficiency and personalization. Like, of course, you can do mass outreach. You can send out 100 messages in a day, but if you're not doing research yourself, if you're not putting your brains to it, if you're not showing that you actually care about your customers' problems, then I believe you will never get any business. And that's why I'm gonna send out only 15 messages, because I want to spend more time on research, and then I also want to play around with my message template to see if I can bring out the pain problems, the jobs to be done even more, without making my message any longer. In addition to that, I'm gonna do 15 follow-up messages. So I've been sending out these new outreach messages, but I haven't gotten in contact with my previous prospects. And while I don't believe that bombarding people with an indefinite number of messages is of any use, I do think that sending out 1 or 2 follow-up messages might be helpful. And then my other goal is to update my sales deck. I already have a sales deck in place, but I feel that, well, first it's a little bit outdated, and then it's not polished enough, so I want to freshen it up, add more information, make the flow more structured so that it fits the conversation, so to say. It fits the vibe of the conversation. And in any case, I want to show up prepared on the call, which means not only talking about my services and my results, but also highlighting the prospects' needs and some potential ideas that they could explore with or without me. So I'm not gonna overcomplicate it. I'm gonna send 15 messages here, 15 messages there, update my sales deck, and that will be it. My main goal will be to make more space for other projects like client work and admin tasks. I have a lot of admin tasks, unfortunately, and special research. This is something I want to focus on in the next 2 weeks. And with that, I think I'm gonna finish this video. I hope you found this episode of the Outreach Challenge series helpful or at least entertaining. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and as always, I wish you a great day and I will see you next time. Bye bye.